Okay, sure. So is it live now? Okay. So hello students, welcome to live session number 2 for the online course on Nanophotonics, Plasmonics and Metamaterial. So I'll be here for next 1 hour. You can ask your queries. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it is visible. Okay, just a second. Can you edit the background? Yeah, I think Raj is here. Raj, do you
Yeah,
have
hello,
any
sir.
questions? Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Yes, Sikdar, sir. So I have one normal question. So when I get the hall ticket, Sikdar, sir?
Well, exam related queries, I think, yeah, um, somebody from CET can help you.
Yeah, okay. So
Oh.
on the technical part, I
Hmm.
will ask.
Yeah.
So regarding that metamaterial absorber, so can
Hmm.
we use it for solar cell application? So
Yes,
what
yes,
is
yes,
the
yes.
what is the maximum attainable practical efficiency, Sikdar? So it is
Well, see, that's a good question. So
mm,
first, what happens in solar cell? Normally, people have solar cells for some particular conversion efficiency, and right now it is in 20s. Okay, the best conversion efficiency. People have seen that.
wait a second, wait a second. Sir, may I record this section if it is okay for you?
Well,
So
I'm not sure. I think it will be all already recorded, no, in
okay,
YouTube.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So yeah,
I'm connected through Teams. Okay,
yeah. So that
thanks.
is not a problem in the YouTube. I think it will be recorded. So what I want to say is that currently there are a lot of research going on this solar cell as well. So they are to push the conversion efficiency towards almost like 27, 28%. Okay. So normally one of the main challenges in solar cell is that when light falls on the solar cell, just because there are difference between the two medium refractive index, a large portion of it gets reflected. That is simple Fresnel reflection, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yes,
So
yes, yes.
yeah, so people have actually tried putting anti-reflection coating on top of your solar cell so that the amount of reflection can be reduced. So that is one portion, and then the absorption completely takes place by the semiconductor that is there. Now, when you put metamaterials on top of your solar cell, they can serve two purposes. First, they have to still work basically on the principle of anti-reflection coating to block any kind of reflection. The second thing is that they may help you to generate more electrons, okay, hot electrons. So the absorption should also increase. So two things should happen at the same time by using metamaterial. First, reflection should be completely blocked so that whatever light falls on your solar cell should get trapped, and then to get better efficiency you have to convert those photons into electrons. So that part also can be facilitated by the metamaterials. So that is right now the current status is. Does it answer your query?
Yes, 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 I'm getting your point, Sikdar. So one more point. So what is the expectation efficiency we can maximum expect from the metamaterial solar cell if it is really possible in future?
Yeah, so future it can go up to say 40 and maybe to 50% depending on the design of
Oh,
the solar cells. Okay.
okay,
So
so it is.
right now, as I told you, groups have attained in 20s, higher 20s, say 26, 27%, like that. So if you can push another 10%, that makes your system much more efficient, right?
Yes,
So
it's
that, yeah, and the cost is also important. So sometimes you have to keep this in mind that metamaterials require sometimes nanofabrication.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
so that will actually you know shoot up the cost of the solar cell if you do not use kind of really cheap materials or readily available materials. If you design your metamaterial with some kind of expensive and exotic materials, in that case, the unit cost per solar cell will increase. Then
yes,
people
it's
will not
repeated.
like it much, isn't it?
Mm,
So the
mm,
efficiency increase will get counterbalanced by um, the cost increase. So that is also not good. So
oh,
you have to strike a balance. Yeah,
yeah, we have to balance cost and real-time application.
you're right. Right.
Mm, s- yeah, yes, Sakatra.
Yes.
One more question I'm having. So,
Yes.
so maybe little, uh, little I have confused. So here I can have two terms like absorption of the material. So it is here I can for the perfect observer it is 99 average. We can able to get 99 percentage of absorption. We can get it. So that is one word from mathematical notes I can get. So so what? How much? uh, uh, real-time efficiency we can get. So in the sense of comparatively to the real theoretical absorption to that real-time application of that perfect observer. So set 99, it is comes down to 70 or 60.
No. It is not that bad. So
Okay. Mm.
the kind of like my group also does active research on metamaterial absorber,
Okay.
and when we design some metamaterial perfect absorber which has
Mm,
got say absorption over 99% over a particular range of
mm, mm,
wavelength,
mm,
we also conduct the fabrication imperfection study. Okay, what I mean by that is that when you try to fabricate, and
mm.
if you say your dielectric layer is 10 nanometer thick, not say 20
Mm.
nanometer thick. Okay.
Yes.
Now, due to fabrication process, some kind of difficulty might arise, then and instead of getting 20, you may end up getting say 22, 23, or 18.
Mm.
Right? You may
Yes.
not exactly get 20. So what we do, we actually simulate our models based on those two extreme parameters also. Like whatever is the optimum value, that is say 20 nanometer, we also do say +5 -5 and see how much is the in the in both extreme cases how much you are getting. Okay, your
Okay.
absorption is deviating from the actual value. So in most of the cases, it has been found that if it is 99%, say in the optimized case,
Mm.
when you do ±5 nanometer, you still stay within say 97 or 98%.
Oh, okay.
If it drops down too much, then your design is not a very good design. Okay,
Okay.
so that you
Mm.
have to understand that if you think that you are achieving some very good absorption theoretically by simulation,
Mm.
but when you go to fabricate and if you cannot allow 5 nanometer plus or minus, then that design is not a very robust design. Understand? So
Mm.
that is how we check our design, that we first optimize it and then we add plus 5 nanometer to all the parameters and we see how much is the performance, and then we reduce 5 nanometer and also see what happens in the other case also. So in both cases, if it is say the performance is also within say ±1%, then it is good one. Okay. So
Mhm.
that is how you decide.
Yeah, one more question in the
Yeah.
sense of software. So for the simulation, simulating the models, we can use the console software. Uh,
Mm.
eh, Console. Apart from that, any other software like
Yeah,
CST, HFS?
yes. CST can be done, and you can also use numerical FTDD.
No,
So,
just numeric. Lum,
yeah, all these methods are fine. FTDD method, you can use
mm,
any software like numerical. ANSYS has got this numerical FTDD that can also be used.
from the
Okay.
Maxwell kind of.
Yeah. They all solve Maxwell's equation only.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
some does in time domain, some does in frequency domain. So the calculation time and method is slightly different. But if you choose correct mesh size and
Mm.
you solve it properly, you will get exactly overlapping results. In
Oh,
in my group, research students have done that. They have done simulations using both FDTD and FEM method, and they could get a perfectly overlapping result.
oh.
Okay.
Mm.
So
Mm.
you are right now doing what? A PhD?
I'm not. So I'm in Renault Nissan Corporation. So I'm
Okay.
research engineer. So I'm
Okay.
working.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
majorly concentrated on the perfect observer application. So
Right.
so that only I asked.
I understand.
Mm.
Perfect
Mm.
observer, we are also developing some more. And robustness study is very important. So the fabrication intolerance study is very important.
Mm.
So you do that and then only you can say this is a good design.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah.
So like now only I'm started. So I'm trying to catch up. Yes.
Right.
So yeah.
So how do you like the course overall?
Yeah. Yes, Sudarshan. So here, initially, so I'm basically electrical engineer, basically. So I'm startingly going through the concept. It is I want to recover that AMT study in bachelor's initial stage of bachelor's. So I want to recollect them, and I'm trying to learning. So I'm not fully completed your lectures also. So I'm still
Okay,
pending
okay,
in
okay.
4 weeks.
Okay,
So
okay. Then long way to go if you are in week 4 right
yes,
now. Yes, it
yeah,
will take some
yeah.
time.
Yeah, so I'm
Okay,
trying to catch every understanding every day, every line of your words. So that only
sure.
so little by line by line.
No problem. And if there is still any doubt left, you can drop an email.
Yeah.
So myself or my TA will try to help you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be traveling next week, so maybe like there may be some delay in replying.
Mm,
But in case you don't get a reply, just send a reminder. Okay.
yeah.
Sometimes the emails we miss.
Mm,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
That's fine. Good luck.
Yeah.
You can
Thank
ask
you.
any questions if you have. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Just.
So you tell me, we can wait till 4 and then close. Yeah, yeah. Let us wait.
Hello, Sikdar. Hello.
Yes, Raj. I'm here.
Yes, so one more doubt I'm having.
Yes,
Just
yes.
so regarding that modeling, so Drude Lorentz model only we are using Sikdar, right?
For which one? For metal.
Or Plasmonics modeling and the
Yes, yes, yes.
so under the EM modeling, we are using Lorentz oscillate or Lorentz model. So is this same model we are using for the mathematical simulation, or else we
So,
are
see, Drude Lorentz model helps you to reproduce the experimental permittivity of any metal like
mm,
gold,
mm, mm,
silver, copper, and all these things. They
mm,
are not
okay,
exact match. They are not exact match. In some cases, there are deviations, but this
mm,
model actually predicts it very well. So where you use Drude Lorentz model, you typically use for your theoretical calculation. Okay.
okay,
When you want to do a simulation,
mm,
there are two ways.
mm,
One is you can use Drude Lorentz model, but this model is an approximation, right?
okay,
It is
yeah,
an approximation to the experimental data. In
uh,
in simulation software, you have a method to directly incorporate the data from those experimental list, isn't it? You can actually
mm,
define that which frequency, what is the real part of the permittivity and imaginary part of the permittivity.
yeah, yeah, we can
So
define.
yeah, so that way it is more accurate. So what I suggest to my students is that whenever they are doing some analytical calculations, okay,
Mm,
like they are writing it on a MATLAB code or something, they can use Drude Lorentz model to
mm,
quickly see what is the kind of values. There also
mm,
you can load the experimental values and do a spline function, which is the interpolation function
mm,
to find out the values at different, very finely spaced wavelengths that you may not have in experiments. Like experiments, they might have reported in steps of say 10 or 20 nanometer,
mm,
isn't it?
mm,
But so both ways can be done. But if you are in a situation to use um, like the experimental results directly, then go for it. Okay.
mm,
So another important factor I would like to mention is that for thin films, like say if you have a very thin gold film where
yes,
the thickness of the film is around say 20 nanometer or so.
mm,
So if you see the literature,
mm,
gold permittivity is mentioned for bulk gold. Okay, so
mm, mm,
bulk gold typically having thickness of say 50 to 100 nanometer. So what happens to the permittivity when the thickness of the film comes down to say 20 or 15 or 30? You do
it
not
will
have
reduce.
experimental data. Yeah.
It's
So
big,
there what will happen? The mean free path of electron is 42 nanometer. Now
mm, mm,
if the film thickness is less than 42, the electrons will collide with themselves before they actually collide with themselves, the electrons will collide with the boundary of the metal, isn't it? Because the
mm,
metal thickness is very less. So in that case, the surface scattering effect will increase. So those kind of modifications you can do in your theoretical formula. That Drude Lorentz model, there
mm,
the gamma is there, not the collision frequency or the
yes.
damping rate. So
Mm,
there you can modify that and add that correction. So those benefits are there if you use Drude Lorentz model. Okay. And
mm,
if
mm,
it is a bulk film, better to go for the experimental one directly. You can import those tables into your simulation and use it.
getting. Yes. Um, yeah, okay. So, Sikdar-san, regarding um, uh, while trying to simulate that in the metamaterial or any plasmonic simulation console software or else any CST or HFSS,
Hmm.
so I can model through the adding physics by one line. So, is there any possible to any preliminary example kind of thing to how to simulate this metamaterial in such
Yeah.
software. It is, if it is practical means, just it is quite helpful for us. So
Yes, but you can actually go to whichever software you are
yeah, I'm just
uh,
I'm using console software
console.
primarily.
Yeah, so you can go to the application library of console.
Yeah.
Okay, there you
Mm,
can look for some examples. So
yeah.
those
The,
this is the
yeah.
starting point.
Yeah, yeah, that I can get Sikdar. So apart from
Uh,
that, I'm from the lectures I can see more results from your end. So it is
yeah,
so
we have,
any.
but
Mm,
usually like the research lab,
mm,
they optimize their own simulation parameters depending on their application. And if you run somebody else's model, you will not understand
correct. Yes.
all
Then
technicalities.
yeah.
So I would say you start with the console application gallery model, which is a
Mm,
known example, and
mm,
there you see how everything is done, and then you slowly change and try to reproduce some result that is already published. Okay, when
yes.
you get
Yes.
when you are able to reproduce, you will get that confidence that yes, you are able to run the software correctly, and
Mm,
then only you actually explore some new structures, or
mm,
else your model, if it is not properly trained and tuned, no, if then in that case you may get some result which may not be actually correct. And
yes.
what I always tell to my students that only simulation is not enough.
Okay.
Either you have to reproduce that result using analytical model or experimental result.
Mm,
So there has to be at least two things coinciding. If you are able to do experiments, then you try to match.
hello, hello, Sikdar. Not able to hear you. Hello,
Me now.
hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, now audible.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes,
I
yes.
lost you in between. Just
No. What I'm saying that
mm,
if you are doing only simulation,
yes.
you should also look for something analytical modeling
Mm,
and try to reproduce the results of the simulation. Then only you
mm,
will have confidence that yes, my results are correct. Okay. Only
mm,
one result, like only from simulation or only from analytical modeling. No, people will not trust your results because you may go wrong anywhere. But if two things are matching, then you will have that confidence that you have modeled it correctly.
mm. Yeah, regarding that validation, so I'm also having. So how we are ensure our result is correct. So either we build our model. So I'm getting either a good result. So where I correct this result is correct, or
Yeah, the
it is not.
first one is that say you have done some modeling in console.
Mm,
Okay,
mm,
and if that structure can be also modeled analytically, means
mm,
using some
mm.
equations,
Yeah.
try
Yeah,
to see the result using the equations and see whether they are giving you similar trend or not.
mm,
Understood?
mm,
Or if that is not possible, if your structure is too complicated,
mm,
then you can try some other completely different method. Say a console you have used, now you use some other method like FDTD
mm,
and try to simulate the same result and see what you are getting. Two different methods, if they give you similar result, it means the structure is working fine. You will not go wrong in both cases. Understood?
yes.
So
Yes.
that will build up that confidence.
Mm, sometimes it going, sometimes we are not able to getting the result. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Raj. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sikdar sir. Thank you for the answering.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So I think
Fine.
I think we are almost there. We can now wind up the session in another 5 minutes or so.
Okay, I'm okay, Sikdar sir. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye.
I think we can close it now, no? Hello? Yeah. Okay. fun asking questions today. So we'll close the live session here. Any other queries, you can drop an email to me. And in
Yes.
case you don't hear from me immediately, just send in reminder. Okay, I'll be traveling next week, so there may be some delay in response. Thank you.